All right, I'm good now. I'm good now, Anthony. Man, I had myself mute. I was on mute the whole time. Didn't realize it. Thank you, man. Thank you. I had been talking for like over 2 minutes. I'm sitting here on mute. All right, so let me start over again. So basically, this video is about Herschel Walker and his stance on reparations. Now, it's not totally on his stance against reparations. It's also to point out some things about Herschel Walker in the life of privilege he have lived ever since he entered into the University of Georgia as a freshman. Now, sometimes people tend to speak out and not think before they speak out. And the reason why I said that, because Herschel Walker had been given, I'm not going to say he earned it. He was given this from the time he entered into the University of Georgia. They gave him everything he wanted and more. And for him to speak out against reparations is crazy. It's really crazy. For a man who came from South Georgia, a poor county, and he grew up poor with no education. But I'm going to get into that later. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play this short video. It's like a minute plus long. And I'm going to play the whole thing first. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to break it down a little bit and show you where I kind of disagree with him at. And then after I did break that down, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a little piece of his history, Herschel Walker history, and why I feel like the brother is totally wrong, why I feel like what he's saying, he need to look at his life and look at himself in the mirror and ask himself, has he received reparations? Because he has received reparations. If you want, from my point of view, they gave him reparations just by giving him the life they gave him. But let's play this video first.
Which has been spoken about many times over my lifetime, but over the past year has become a hot topic. I asked the question why. There's been many surveys show that a large percentage of Black and white teens would say racism is better today than yesterday. We use Black power to create white guilt. My approach is biblical. How can I ask my Heavenly Father to forgive me if I can't forgive my brother? I never want to put anyone's religion down, but my religion teach togetherness. Reparation teach separation. Slavery ended over 130 years ago.
I'm back.
How can a father be asked his son to spend prison time for a crime he committed? In the case we speak of, we're researching farther back in history, a history many are not taught or spoken about in school. America is the greatest country in the world to me. A melting pot of a lot of great races, a lot of great minds that have come together with different ideas and make America the greatest country on earth. Many have died trying to get into America. No one is dying trying to get out. Reparation. Where will the money come from? Does it come for all the other races except the Black taxpayers? Who is Black? What percentage of Black must you be to receive reparation? Do you go to 23andMe or a DNA test to determine the percentage of Blackness? Some American ancestors just came to this country 80 years ago. Their ancestor wasn't even here during slavery. Some Black immigrants weren't here during slavery, nor their ancestors. Some states didn't even have slavery. We as Black Americans have always wanted what the Constitution stated: all men, Black, white, and today Latino, Asian, Italian, etc., should be guaranteed the alienability rights of life, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. Years later, after slavery ended, Dr. King, I Have a Dream speech, said, the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation was a great beacon of light, but hundreds of years later, we're still not free because of segregation and discrimination. Today, I call that reparation.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't play the entire clip. I cut it out, but this is my thing. Now, a lot of y'all who follow me, some of y'all might remember my stance on reparations. Now, I do believe we should get reparations, but I don't believe that we should give individual reparations. Now, that's how I feel about it. I feel like if we're going to do reparations, we need to do reparations to the point where we can fund the inner city programs, education, job programs, justice reform. I believe that's the type of reparation that we need, because honestly, if we do the individual reparations, I feel like we're going to put the money in the wrong hands. And I believe we shouldn't do that. Now, that's my stance. Now, with Herschel Walker here, with him saying what he's saying, especially the last part, in which I went back and I looked at this video where I cut it up, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't, doing him injustice by cutting the video the way I did, and then thinking what I'm thinking. Because I'm like, is he saying that our reparation right now is because we're not segregated anymore? Because I know he's not talking about discrimination, because discrimination is still going on in this country today. So I'm going to break this down a little at a time. And y'all got to excuse the video. The video is that's the way I recorded the video. It was basically, that's how the video was. So I apologize for that. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to kind of break this down a little bit at parts where I kind of disagree with him. Now, there is a part where I do kind of agree with him on, but the majority of the video, I disagree with him. So I'm going to break it down. So let's go.
Speak on reparation, which has been spoken about many times over my lifetime, but over the past year has become a hot topic. I asked the question, why? There's been many surveys show that a large percentage of Black and white teens will say racism is better today than yesterday. We use Black power to create.
Now, he said Black and white teens. Teens. Now, how much sense does that make? He said teens. Now, what teenager wouldn't say that? So why would you ask a teenager about race relations when they only been here since what is it? You said 18, since 2002 was when an 18-year-old was born in this country. So what do a teenager know about discrimination in a sense? Now, if he would have said, I asked my mother, or I asked my grandmother, or I asked older African Americans or white Americans how they felt about race relations, that would have been totally different. But he actually said teens. So that don't add up. So let's go on.
Create white guilt. My approach is biblical. How can I add?
I'm gonna go back because I missed a part.
It's better today than yesterday. We use Black power to create white guilt. My approach is biblical.
Now, right here, he said we use Black power to create white guilt. Now, what do that really mean? You use Black power to create white guilt. So basically, he was saying that we shouldn't call out white people for what they done or what they're doing when it comes to discrimination or anything like that. Because when we do that, we only doing it to make white people feel bad. I totally disagree with that. Totally disagree with that. Because that's not the point. We're calling it out because it's true and it happened and it's still happening. So yes, you have to call it out. It's not about making a white person feel guilty for what they're doing. It's about calling them out and hoping that they would change their way of doing things. That's why they do it. So let's go on.
Can I ask my Heavenly Father to forgive me if I can't forgive my brother? I never want to put anyone's religion down, but my religion teach togetherness. Reparation teach separation. Slavery ended over 130 years ago.
I'm back.
How can a father be asked his son to spend prison time for a crime he committed? In the case we speak of, we're researching farther back in history, a history many are not taught or spoken about in school. America is the greatest country in the world to me. A melting pot of a lot of great races, a lot of great minds that have come together with different ideas and make America the greatest country on earth. Many have died trying to get into America. No one is dying trying to get out.
Now, he says many have died trying to get into America and no one have died trying to get out. Okay, how about all those who died just trying to live here peacefully? Don't forget that, Herschel. Remember all those black people who died who just wanted to live here peacefully? And like you said, they wanted to live the American dream. Just understand. See, this guy, he's not really understanding what he's saying as a black man. He's not. He just said people try to get in this country have died trying to get into this country, but no one have died trying to get out. But they have died trying to live a peaceful life here. They have died trying to be that just wanted to the respect that they're given, they should be given. They have died. Just understand the whole concept, what you're saying. You're acting like black people have never suffered in this country. You act like everything has been peaches and cream for black people in this country. So think about it. I don't really think Herschel Walker wrote this. I really don't. I think he's just reading this. Somebody wrote it for him and he's just reading it because he can't be this insensitive to black people by saying these things. Because it sounds like a white man saying this. This is not Herschel Walker. This is a white man who wrote this for Herschel Walker. But let's go on.
Reparation. Where would the money come from? Does it come for all the other races except the black taxpayers? Who is black? What percentage of black?
Let me tell you where the money come from, Herschel. This is where the money came from. It come from the same place where the Japanese got their money from. It come from the same place where Jewish people got their money from for reparations. It come from the same place that Indians got their money from through reparations, through some sort of reparations. That's where the money coming from. It's coming from the government. The government paid everybody else who they so-called did something against in this country, but they don't want to pay the descendants of slaves. So that's where the money can come from. The government.
Must you be to receive reparation? Do you go to 23andMe or a DNA test to determine the percentage of blackness? Some American ancestors just came to this country 80 years ago. Their ancestors.
Now, like I said, there is a part where I kind of agree with him on. And this part right here, I do kind of agree with him on. And this is another reason why I say we need to understand that instead of doing individual reparations, we need to do just one big lump sum and put it into the inner cities. And the reason why, because it'll be so difficult to try to figure out who is the descendant of slaves and who are not. And like I said, if that bill ever did pass, we would never still see the money. And the reason why, because you have to figure out who is a descendant and who is not a descendant. And trust me, that'll take another lifetime. So this is the only part I agree with him on.
Wasn't even here during slavery. Some black immigrants weren't here during slavery, nor their ancestors. Some states didn't even have slavery. We as Black Americans have always wanted what the Constitution stated: all men, black, white, and today Latino, Asian, Italian, etc., should be guaranteed the alienability rights of life, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. Years later, after slavery ended, Dr. King, I Have a Dream speech.
Now, Anthony, especially Anthony and Lurker and Moon, I want y'all to pay close attention to what he's about to say, because I want y'all to tell me y'all opinion exactly what he means and what he's talking about. So please, let's listen closely for me and give me y'all opinion, because I already got my opinion. I want to know what y'all think this means.
Said the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation was a great beacon of light, but hundreds of years later, we're still not free because of segregation and discrimination. Today, I call that reparation.
Now, he said that when Dr. King made I Have a Dream speech, that we still wasn't free because we was segregation still going on and discrimination still going on. But today he calls that reparations. Can anyone tell me exactly what he means? Because I'm thinking he's meaning that there's no more segregation, and I guess he's saying there's no more discrimination. So that's our reparations. Is that what he's saying? Because I'm lost at that point. Because if that's what he's saying, he's totally lost himself. So I hope and pray that's not what he means. I really do. But who knows if that really what he means. Now, with that said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to break down Herschel Walker history a little bit. And I'm going to show y'all how Herschel Walker is just a front man for white people. Now, he's just a black man who white people get to go out and speak on issues that favors them. Like right now, he's speaking out against reparations because that's what white people want him to do. And with Herschel Walker, he's very loyal to white people. Very loyal to white people. And I'm going to tell you the reason why he's very loyal to white people. Now, Herschel Walker went to the University of Georgia. He came to the university in 1980. Now, Herschel Walker grew up in Johnson County, Wrightsville, Georgia. Very poor county in South Georgia. It's not in the extreme South, but close enough. And he grew up dirt poor. He grew up dirt poor. Now, when he came to the University of Georgia, this guy had brand new cars. He had money, had everything. Anything he wanted, they gave to him, including the education. Because he didn't earn that education. They gave him that education. Herschel Walker, now I'm not going to say I know this factually, but the rumors was Herschel Walker could not even read when he went to the University of Georgia. Well, let me take that back. He was reading on an elementary school level when he went to the University of Georgia. So they gave him everything. They gave him everything. Now, this is the man who's speaking out against reparations when white people gave him everything. Car, money, family. His mom and dad was well taken care of. His entire family was well taken care of while he was at UGA. Entire family was taken care of. They was given anything they wanted. But he's talking about reparations. See, he was getting his reparations while he was playing football at UGA. You know what I'm saying? This guy have really never earned anything outside of his football ability. That football gave him everything he wanted. Everything. If you ask Herschel Walker, if he didn't have football, where would he be? He would be in Johnson County, Wrightsville, Georgia, working in a plant, probably in a factory, if he couldn't had the ability to play football, because he is not educated. He have no other future but football. And these are the type of people that they go out and find to talk against the black community. People who was given everything. They didn't have to earn none of this. They was given all of this. And if you listen to him read this, that what he was reading, a statement that he was reading, you can tell he still do not know how to read that well. Because he didn't know how to, he didn't have to learn how to read. Because they was giving him everything. When he left the UGA, he went to the USFL and played for the New Jersey Generals. Donald Trump, I believe, still owe him money today. Because he had a humongous contract from that. And that's why he's so loyal to Donald Trump. So you got to realize Herschel Walker is loyal to all these white people because these white people are the ones who propped him up, who gave him everything. He's a very loyal person, very loyal. So I can't knock him for that, but I can knock him to the point where he's sitting here and speaks out against black issues just because he's so loyal to his white handlers. And that's what he's doing. And that's the only reason why he's speaking out, because he figured he owes those white people, because those white people gave him everything from the time he entered into the UGA up until this point in his life. They have given him everything. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Herschel Walker went to UGA. Dominic Wilkins went to the UGA. Now, Herschel Walker, everybody knows this. It's no secret. Herschel Walker was paid. He was paid big time at UGA. Dominic Wilkins was paid at UGA. But this is the difference. See, Herschel Walker was so loyal that he would never tell that he was paid. Dominic Wilkins actually told that he was paid, and they blacklisted him from UGA. Dominic Wilkins wanted to be a head coach at UGA at one point in time for the basketball team. And they told him no, they weren't going to hire him. And the reason why they weren't going to hire him, because he went and told that he got paid at UGA. Now, there's another side to the story about the education point about Herschel Walker. And this is another reason why I know they gave Herschel Walker his education. They gave him this diploma. He didn't earn it. Jan Kemp, he was a professor back in the 80s who came out and told everything about what was going on at UGA and how they was giving these kids grades, or how they were having people take tests for these kids, these athletes. So Jan Kemp told everything, and UGA had to change their entire way of recruiting because of that. Because they could not go out and recruit kids like Herschel Walker anymore. They could not recruit kids who could not barely read. They could not recruit kids who didn't have at least a C average in core courses. Yeah, all of them was. That was back in the 80s. In the 80s, Anthony, all those the football, basketball players especially, every last one of them was being paid. Every last one of them was being paid. And like I said, on top of that, they didn't have to go to class. Because in the 80s, before Jan Kemp came out and told everything, they had tutors taking the tests. They had they were just giving grades away until Jan Kemp came out and told the truth. And Herschel Walker was part of all of this. He was the one who was getting paid. He was the one who didn't have to go to class. And that's why he's more loyal, because he wouldn't tell. You see, other guys told because they didn't care. Herschel Walker, he do care because he knows who feed him. And he's not going to bite that hand that feed him. He's not going to do it. You know, and that's why you see him right now speaking out so much on black issues, speaking against black issues, because he have to maintain that white status. He's not going to tell the truth. He's just a front man. You know, he was in this statement was read in a Congress session committee meeting with Sheila Jackson Lee was the chairman, and they were talking about reparations, and they brought him in. Now, why would you bring Herschel Walker in where he have no idea about reparations? Because they need a black face to speak against it. Matter of fact, they even brought Larry Elder in also during this meeting to speak against reparations. So it's crazy, but it's true. You know, Herschel Walker is gone. He's a black man in skin only. And I feel real bad because I grew up watching this dude. My grandfather's house was so close to the stadium that we could hear the PA system on Saturdays. That's how close my grandfather's front porch was to the stadium. So I had a lot of love for this dude. I have no love for him now, but I had a lot of love for this dude. But now he's one of these people who just have went totally off. Larry Earl is more than the devil. He's more than the devil. But it's crazy though. It's really crazy. It's really crazy that we have people like Herschel Walker who don't understand about hard work and what it took to build something because he was given everything. He's like a rich kid. They don't earn anything. It's just given to him. Like Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't earn anything. He was given all that money. Same thing with Herschel Walker. He was given all that money. Yes, he played football. Yeah, he kept his body in shape and he played football. But outside of that, what did he do? Nothing. Nothing at all. And it's sad. It's sad that you got a brother like this right here speaking out against reparations. Instead of him being honest like myself and saying we need reparations. Now, like I said before, I don't believe in individual reparations. I believe that we should fund the inner cities with certain programs. That's what I believe. Because I think that's easier to do than to do individual reparations. Now, if I felt like there was a way we can do it easier by doing individual, I would probably support that. I doubt, but I probably would. But right now, I'm not into the individual reparations. I'm into just funding the inner cities. $1 trillion pumping into the inner cities and hold those people accountable for building schools, building the justice system, and building job programs. That's what we should do. But he can't say that because his white handlers don't want him to say that. They don't want him to say that. Then on top of that, those people, they tend to forget about the Japanese and the Jewish and the Indians, all those people that someone have done something to receive some sort of payment for their hardship. Black people is the only group of people who haven't received anything for their hardship in this country. And that's an issue. So when I see a black man speaking out against reparations, knowing that Japanese and the Jewish community and, you know, Indians, Native Americans all have received something for their hardship in this country and we haven't, and black people actually speaking out against it, come on. How can you do that to you? How can you do that to your own community? You speaking out against something that everybody else have received. That's crazy. That's really crazy. is really crazy. But I thank everybody for stopping through. Thank you, Anthony, man. Thank you for support, man. You always here. You always come in on the videos. So I really appreciate you coming through, man. Thank you, Moon. Thank you, Lurker. I didn't see but 3 people. So thank the 3 people who came through. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna keep doing these lives like this right here. I don't care if 1 or 2 people. It might be me and Charles and him one day. And just me and him. I'm still gonna go strong. So I appreciate my brother with the support 100%. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lurker. And I will be doing a show on my other channel later on. We're going to have a little fun today. So I will be doing a show over there after 12 o'clock. I will be doing a show over there because I got to go to the store and get me something to drink so I can fire up over there. So I'll be over there after 12 o'clock. So y'all come over there, have some fun with me over there. We're going to just kick it, have some laugh, and enjoy the Sunday. And thank you, Lurker. I'm glad you came, Lurker. I'm glad I was able to, you never heard of Herschel Walker, Lurker? He played in Dallas. Lurker, you never heard of Herschel? He played in Dallas. He was in Texas. Oh, my God, Lurker. But y'all have a good day. And I'll talk to y'all later.